Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you in another video. All right, so we got some new rumors to break down. First of all, Jordan Clarkson. It seems like the Lakers are kicking the can on Jordan Clarkson. Obviously, Utah is embarking on a full rebuild. They're going straight for Victor. So at this point, it's all about tearing everything down and getting trade equity and more cap flexibility. So at this point, the Lakers have said that they are interested in Clarkson, but don't want to involve THT. And while I don't have any problem with that stance as it pertains to wanting to use THT elsewhere, uh, I do not see any path to us being able to get this done without giving up other stuff we don't want to give up if we're not giving up THT. So it's like, what are you going to do? If it ain't THT, it's going to be like Wenyen Gabriel, Austin Reeves, Christie. Like, in order to make the numbers match, you got to give up a bunch of stuff that, quite honestly, I'd rather give up THT than give up. So yeah, I don't know why they're doing that, but um, that's what it is. So looking at the situation, we can add Kendrick Nunn, and then we have a $2 million trade exception from Rajon Rondo if that trade machine is updated, because I'm going by what that said. So maybe the Lakers can kind of find a way to create that cap space by adding a third team somehow. But it would have to be something like that in order for us to swing Jordan Clarkson, because the numbers just don't match. Now, the other side of the situation is Russell Westbrook. It's been said that things are heating up between the Lakers and the Spurs, which is not surprising because I told you guys about the IG post that Russie had about a week and a half ago where he looked like he was essentially dressing up like a Spur. Like, basically, he was dressing up like a cowboy wearing black and silver. So that right there told me that yeah, he's being given the go. That's more than likely his destination. So, if I'm to read into that kind of stuff, which I always do, that was something that was a tea leaf for me to look at. Now, it's coming into fruition more or less. Those talks are ramping up, and it looks like the Spurs want a first round pick, the 27. So, I don't see why that wouldn't be something we would be willing to give up to get rid of Russell Westbrook. That makes all the sense in the world. It just does. If you're gonna get rid of him, you want to effectively do so, and you can, possibly bring back, um, maybe in a three-team deal, Kyrie Irving, and that's how I would swing that. Obviously, you send um, Russell to the Spurs, and whatever you would be getting back for that, you send to Brooklyn and get Kai. So that's just how that has to play out. I don't see any other reason why this would not go that way. Because the only thing keeping us from getting Kyrie's deal done, in my opinion, is the fact that they don't really want Russell Westbrook's. They don't want that. Brooklyn doesn't want that. So in my mind, and I don't have any confirmation of this, but in my mind, they've tacked on the extra pick because they desperately don't want to take back Russ for 1 year at 47. So if we can somehow make it so that he doesn't go there, maybe we can effectively keep from having to give up two picks in the deal. Send one to the Spurs. It takes care of Russ. And maybe we can do some other things with Kendrick Nunn again. We can probably throw in one of those two guys we don't want to give up. The trade exception if it is available, and maybe something else that the Lakers have that I'm not aware of. Um, so that's how I see that possibly forming. Um, Maybe we could try to swing something somehow if we want to throw in the second pick, the 29 pick. Maybe we can swing that to Utah. Maybe try to bring them in as a fourth team somehow or something. Maybe get Jordan Clarkson if that's something that we're trying to do. I don't know that we do separate deals for all of this stuff. I think Rob is going to try to swing it so that when we move Russ, all of this stuff comes in at once, including Kyrie Irving. If it's possible, I see them trying to do something like that. So yeah, that's just me brainstorming. As far as the tea leaves, that's what we got thus far. Jordan Clarkson's now on the list of players that they're looking at in Utah. I think the Lakers should also look at more stuff that Utah has. I know Bogdanovich, if I'm not mistaken, is available. One of my Laker buddies posted something about him. I think he would be a good player to add to our situation if we could get him at a discount somehow from Utah. I don't know if he's on contract or not. To be honest with you, I didn't do any homework on that, but yeah, that's somebody. If he's still on contract, maybe we can add him from Utah in some type of deal if we have to give up too much. Um, Because, see, that's what it's about for me. If we got to give up both picks, we got to make sure that we're doing it for something that can just kick us right into championship gear. Because essentially we're mortgaging everything for a shot at the championship, so it better be the best shot possible. So let it be really high-level role players that can come in and do very key things for what we have, for what we're doing. And so that's what I think there. If not, then hold on to that pick. Simply put, hold on to it. So, yeah, man. As far as the Kyrie Irving situation, like I said, hopefully we can swing him into that. But you know what? Truth be told, I would really much rather get him after the Nets waive him, to be completely and utterly honest with everyone. I know that's not necessarily what everybody wants to hear. I don't think that's necessarily the right risk in some scenarios, depending on how this plays out. But I just feel like $36 million, if we don't have to absorb that, not even for one season, that can make us significantly better in terms of building a champion this season right now. If we don't have to take that on, we can do a deal that swings Russell Westbrook out of here, gets us back talent that ain't Kyrie Irving, and still land Kyrie Irving before the end of the season. That, to me, is the best possible chance at winning a championship this year. If I'm being completely honest with you, let the Nets go back to the drawing board, figure themselves out, come to no conclusion whatsoever, and have to buy him out. But a lot of things have to fall into place in order for that scenario to work in the Lakers' favor, including him not just deciding to stay there. Which, once the season starts, who knows? A lot of things can happen. He's home in New York at the end of the day, so you don't necessarily want to play that game. But what I'm saying is, if everybody's laser focused on winning a championship this season, that's the type of sacrifice everybody that's going to be a part of this thing in the end needs to be willing to make right now, including Kyrie Irving. We're talking about winning a championship and making sure you have damn enough to do so. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I want to wait. That's why I want Brooklyn to go back to the drawing board and buy him out. Because ultimately, we can get Buddy Hield, we can get Miles Turner, get rid of Russell Westbrook, and don't even have to worry about acquiring Kyrie Irving. We can sign him at whatever little nice amount that we can chip him right in for a one-year deal, if that's what it's going to be. He still get his 36. They already paid that. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea a lot better than giving up something that we have to trade to get him an expiring contract right now, as to which I don't know if Jeannie going to want to read. She's not going to want to necessarily pay that. And so if she's not going to want to pay that, in theory, if that's where we're headed, then we got to acquire him at a 1 year's price for us. Not at the price he's tagged at $36 million, even though he's worth that for 1 year. Don't get it twisted. But shoot, if we can cut that all the way out and shove that into a different direction with different players, clearly it's going to make us a deeper, better team. Clearly that gives us more insurance for our injury issues. And clearly that vaults us further up the standings in terms of us, so potentially, I guess, potentially. So, yeah, man, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. You got to get sly. You got to get cute. You got to really, really take some strong stances in a world where people like Danny Ainge exist, fleecing everybody. So you got to be strong out here. So sometimes the Lakers have done things kind of for sentiment or to kind of ease the pressure of certain things, it seems. And to me, it's like, if you're gonna win in these waters, you got to be a shark. You got to be a stone cold shark in these waters. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, man, if they have some intel that Brooklyn absolutely has nowhere to go, then I don't think we should be giving up any assets for anything that they have. Make them figure themselves out, because they're going to have to let him go. If he's serious about being in LA, and they're very serious about not giving him 5 years. That's what all of this is contingent on. Because if all of that ain't leaning on either of that, then it's a different way of looking at it. But if he's certain he wants to win a championship with the LA Lakers this upcoming season, I think this is the best path forward for him. I really believe that. Wait it out. Go back there and get bought out. Get bought out. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they know they need to buy him out. They need to take that contract and turn it into something else for themselves. We squeeze him in, smaller amount, teams deep, make a run, let the chips fall where they may. Because trust you me, even if we do this, we trade for him right now, depending on what Rob has in mind with all the little side other deals that are possible, we're still gonna have issues. We're still gonna have issues, even if we bring in Kai right now. It's still not quite good enough in my opinion. But if we do this, if we don't have to absorb that 36 in our cap, yeah, that makes us dangerous as hell, man. That makes us dangerous as hell if we're able to acquire him at like say $5 million for 1 year or something like that. That, oh my, that's what the world don't want. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at, man. I'm looking at that as a pure strategy. It's not as a means of saying I don't want Kyrie on the team or nothing crazy or stupid. I'm talking about getting us to be the best team we possibly can be. So that's where I'm at, man. BDR44. Thank you all for watching.